I never wrote. I ain't write this shit by the way, nigga. Some real shit right here. This be the realest shit you ever quote. My president is black, my Lambo's blue, and I be goddamn in my...
He thought it not robbery to give my voice to the meek, for it is he who gave me breath, and it is the breath with which I speak. Therefore, when I wake up and I thank God for the day, I turn to the mirror and with conviction I say, I am a survivor, I am a believer, I am a ninth inning achiever, I am persistent, I am patient, I am destined for greatness. By God I am resurrected and continuously tested. I am a man on a mission with an unchained vision. In all of these things I am. Greetings, fans, family, friends, and followers. I'd like to thank you for joining me. I am Charles H.F. Davis III, President and Chief Inspirational Officer of Vocal Speakers, an inspirational consulting practice destined to create inspiration in your life and the lives of others. I'd like to thank you for joining me for this next set of Speak Out vlog series. This vlog particularly is entitled Black Politics, a Critical Response in Defending Our President. And really this vlog came about in response to Senator Reid's recent comments and a lot of the discussion that has kind of come about around this issue. A number of people have asked me, you know, Charles, are you going to do a response? I've had a lot of questions about what I thought about it. So I decided to do a vlog on this particular topic. Really dealing with these comments, the various news specials that have come out about this, the various people speaking on it, the various vloggers that have also made comments on it, and really for us as African Americans to really look at this issue kind of critically. So really what this issue stems from, again, is Senator Harry Reid's comments, but we want to look at this kind of in three parts. Is one, look at Senator Reid's comments. Also want to look at President Clinton's comments, would have been less publicized and less aware of what it was that he said, and also look at Michael Steele's comments, who is the chairman of the Republican Party, and things that he said as well. And all this stems around the book Game Change. And Game Change is a book written by John Heilemann and Mark Halperin, which details some of the back office accounts of what has happened during the course of that 2008 election. So first, dealing with Senator Reid's comments, if you have not heard already, that Senator Reid, who is from Nevada, Democrat, Senate Majority Leader, was quoted as saying that the nation was ready to elect a light-skinned black man with no Negro dialect unless he wanted to have one. So a lot of conversations come up about this, and a lot of people are, you know, really attacking Senator Reid, calling for his resignation, and all these different things. And African Americans in particular have been very sensitive about what was said, particularly dealing with Negro dialect for one, but also this light-skinned kind of complex and all the complexities that go around the statement that he made and how loaded it was. Now, you know, me being very critical and this being a critical response, you know, my question is that are we as African Americans really upset with what he said? Or are we upset with the fact that we've been saying it for a long time and that somebody else finally came out and said it that happens to be white? Because I know a number of conversations that have also been said that, you know, Barack Obama could not have had the opportunity that he had he not been light-skinned for one, had he not been able to speak a certain way, had gone to certain schools, to be in these enclaves, for him to have influence, to be elevated to the seat of the president. And I think that that's really what needs to be addressed here, is that a number of us have continuously said it, but we want to get up in arms and be defensive when somebody else brings it to the light. And I know it's kind of, you know, the same thing dealing with your family. You know, I can say that, but you can't say that. But again, if we're going to present these things on a particular platform, let's be critical of ourselves as well in addressing these kinds of comments that we've already said, because realistically, people are only going to be able to say what it is that we have said about ourselves. And we continue to perpetuate a certain stereotype that then people now have fuel to add to the fire when they're making their comments on these main stages. So a lot of this stems, you know, from slavery and the mulatto hypothesis and this light skin versus dark skin concept and idea that we have long, you know, kind of really brought more so into the light, especially in light of the president that we have, and really looking at Barack Obama's pathway of one facet, keeping it real and being black enough to be black, because since we do claim him as our president, but then also having to toe the line of white approval and doing that in a way that he's able to keep it 100, as we say, on both sides. So, you know, again, really look at that from our critical stance, and that this isn't anything different than has been said by us, you know, since the election started about his particular prowess and why he is able to have this opportunity. So the next piece that we kind of want to deal with outside of that, and even more problematic to me, is dealing with President Clinton's sentiments, also expressed in the book Game Change, who was quoted as saying a few years ago, this guy would have been getting us coffee. Now, to me, that is extremely loaded as well, and why people would, you know, downplay to say, well, it was because Barack Obama was a junior senator. You know, whatever the case may be, when President Clinton made these comments in close quarters to Senator Ted Kennedy at the time, Ted Kennedy was outraged, and he thought it was racially loaded. And when you really look at it, because, you know, Bill Clinton was our first president, and we claim him so much, And he's actually making some of these sort of statements and comments that if we're going to be critical of Senator Reid, we have to be critical across the board for Senator Reid, President Clinton, Secretary of State Clinton, all of these people that have said these various things in the backwaters of this election, and look at them all the way, or make them more transparent rather, to look at it across the board and be critical of everybody and not just target in on one particular person because it's explicit, because implicit racism and implicit understandings of the racial undertones that people are having conversations in are as problematic, if not more problematic, because it's not out in front. Dealing with racism in and of itself, we have to really understand the structural inequalities that have been set up. We have to understand the various implicit implications of the way things are said and the expectations that people have for us that aren't going to be as explicit as they used to be. So we have to kind of really be mindful and be critical of everybody that's making these things, very apparent on the main stage. So segueing in past that to deal with not only Senator Reid and President Clinton, but dealing with Michael Steele. Now, Michael Steele is the chairman of the Republican Party. I think he's the first black chairman that they've had. And, regardless of what your party affiliation is, your politics or your business, but my issue with Michael Steele is kind of the disassociation from his benefit of having the opportunity to sit in the seat that he sits in based on Barack Obama's transition into the presidency. Because believe it or not, whether you want to, Michael Steele, that you have benefited from that by being the first black face in the Republican Party on the main stage in that particular way, by virtue of the fact that the Democrats also have that person on the main stage. So just like Sarah Palin came into the picture because Clinton was in the picture, it was the same thing for you in my particular opinion. Now, the real beef that I have with Michael Steele is that he's calling for Senator Reid's resignation in comparison to the remarks that Trent Lott said when he was Senate Majority Leader who was forced to resign in his post in 2002, when he was suggesting that the nation would have been better off had it embraced the segregationist policies of a once presidential candidate, Strom Thurmond, who was the senator from South Carolina who really believed in segregation. And I think that's drastically blown out of proportion, and comparing apples to oranges. And even trying to make that argument is a completely erroneous statement to me altogether. So, really, who are you representing? Is it really about party lines? Are you understanding your role as an African-American being in the Republican Party and the things that you need to bring to light as an African-American in that party? Or are you really just fighting the party fight and almost being, a puppet in the Republican Party's arms for even coming out publicly to make these statements that are, in effect, detrimental to another black man that is in office that has done such a great and honorable job of being elected into that position. So, more or less, as I've said on my Twitter page, if you are following, that Michael Steele, please just sit your ass down. That is it. Sit down, leave this one alone, wait till the next one comes on when you have a better argument to present. So, again, those are just a couple sentiments about this particular issue that I felt was pretty near and dear. The book, again, is Game Change. John Heilemann, Mark Halperin, gives you the backstage accounts of what happened in the 2008 election, dealing with President Obama, dealing with President and then Senator Hillary Clinton, dealing with John Edwards, dealing with Sarah Palin and John McCain. I definitely recommend picking up that book to get more in depth and more information about what had happened then and the various comments and scandals that have happened over the course of that 2008 election. So once again, thank you for joining me for the Speak Out vlog series. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/vocal speakers. You can find me on Facebook by Facebook searching Charles Davis Speaks and join my fan page. You can also visit my website at www.charlesdavisspeaks.com. And I also have a FormSpring page now, so if you'd like to ask me questions anonymously, you can visit me at formspring.me/vocal speakers, I believe. If it's not /vocal speakers, it's /Charles Davis Speaks. Try either and they should work. So once again, thank you for joining me. I look forward to speaking with you again next time. Be inspired and stay focused.